So my journey in cybersecurity actually started way back during my university days. So I had done an undergrad degree in informatics and decided thereafter to immediately do my honors degree as well. And during the honors degree, we had to complete 10 modules, out of which the majority of them actually had to do with cybersecurity topics. So things like encryption. We learned of Bob and Alice and their public and private keys, etc., etc. And that really fascinated me. And that's where my passion and my love for cybersecurity actually originated. I was then very fortunate thereafter to, about a year after I had started working formally, to actually join the security team at the company that I was with at that stage. And I was introduced to how security actually works in the corporate environment. Initially, I started out writing policies and helping with processes and procedures. And then from there, my career grew. I had a role as an information security officer at an investment bank. Then I did a stint at Ernst & Young, where I did a bit of consulting and advisory services. And then from there on, I basically moved into the more formal CISO roles, and since then have actually been in more the CISO role to where I am now, where I'm actually responsible for the cybersecurity strategy for an entire group. So for me, the Certified CISO program is all about, for me personally, was about validating the fact that I am really and truly a CISO. So a lot of us, when we move into the role of a CISO, basically evolve from, in my case, it was from the policy side. I had to do a bit of technical work as well. But you're never fully equipped in any degree or any course that you otherwise do to just overnight be a CISO. You cannot, wake up and decide I'm a CISO today. You grow into the role. And as such, you have to learn a lot of skills along the way and evolve into the CISO. And for me, the certified CISO role was that validation to verify for myself, but also to prove to my peers and to my colleagues that I do have the capabilities and the knowledge to actually be a good CISO for the organization. So in terms of takeaways of the Certified CISO program, for me, it's about the holistic nature of it and also the fact that it really equips you and builds you into an executive manager. We all, at some stage in our careers, probably have some leadership roles, whether it's as a team leader, whether it's as a manager, but to move up to that executive leadership position really takes something additional. And that is, for me, what the Certified CISO program really emphasized and brought along and helped me further develop. So I had done my CISSP many years ago and had basically kept up in my career with just the continuing professional education requirements of the CISSP. And I reached a stage in my career where I wanted to challenge myself again. And at that stage, I looked around at where I was in my career and what was available in terms of certifications in the industry. And there was no other qualification or certification really that grabbed my attention like the Certified CISO program. It was really about where I was at that stage in my career. I was already, I had my first couple of CISO roles behind me, but I was now ready to move on to taking the bigger challenges of becoming a divisional CISO, becoming a group CISO. And for that, I was looking just to hone my final skills to move to that executive level from that perspective. So for me, it was basically a case of opportunity and where I was in my career. And there was really nothing around in the industry other than this certification that fulfilled that need that I had at this point in time. What makes this certification different from others in the industry for me is its holistic nature. And also that it does not just focus on the technical components of cybersecurity, and it really tries to round off the individual to be a good executive leader. What I also liked a lot about the program is the fact that there is some sort of validation and authentication that has to be passed before you can write the exam. So it means that you're prepared for the exam before you even start. So you don't set yourself up for failure, and you basically prove beforehand that you are ready to write the exam, which is an element that I really liked out of this program as well. Oh, definitely, for sure. I mean, there is no doubt about it. I moved into the group CISO role after I had received the certification. So for me, I think there was that direct correlation. So from a career perspective, yes, definitely. But also what the Certified CISO program allowed me to do is to start giving back to the industry and the community. So I am actually a member of the Book of Knowledge Committee that is in the process of rewriting the CISO, the Certified CISO Book of Knowledge. And I don't think that I would have had that opportunity in any other way before I had written that exam. And for me, what's so rewarding about that is that I can share my knowledge with others in the industry, so I can give back, but I can also help to have the African voice heard in these type of forums and in these type of industry certifications. Because what we find is there are differences in how we approach things in South Africa specifically. I mean, there's legislation that does not apply to us. And sometimes these certifications are very either US-centric or European-centric and forget about us in the other continents. So what the certification gave me is to basically add my voice to the industry and to basically also put Africa on the map in terms of cybersecurity. Yes, I certainly do so. And the reason why I am a supporter of that idea is I think most of us write the technical certifications early on in our career, like the CISSP or whichever certification would apply to the specific area of cybersecurity. And then there is a fairly big gap for me personally, I find, between the CISSP or a certification like the CISSP and then a certification like the Certified CISO. So for me, I think there is a gap and a niche in terms of where we need to assist our cyber security colleagues in terms of transforming into those leaders that we need in the office of the CISO and address that management gap or that management and leadership layer that is perhaps missing from a certification, more technical certification like the CISSP. So there's definitely, I think, a gap there. And it's also to help with the personal and professional development and setting them up to eventually become CISOs in their own rights. Okay, so I think the way that the Certified CISO program is set up is because it's a holistic program in my view. It does cover all the key skills and areas that a CISO needs to know. So it does still contain some of the technical elements, but it also helps you and sets you up with the concepts such as budgeting, financial management, the risk management, the governance around it. So I think they are all important. And they build towards the cohesiveness and holistic nature of the program. So my favorite domain is, and it probably stems back from my master's degree that I did and specialized in policy development, was actually domain 1, which is the governance and risk management domain. So it's a domain that came easily to me and naturally to me. So I suppose that's why I enjoyed it so much. But also there was some truth in there that I, as a CISO, had to really take on board. For example, under the risk management element. I think as CISOs, we often like to be what I term superheroes. We want to solve the world's problems, and we want to take on the world's problems, and we want to be the ones that tell the organization, no, you can't do this because such and such will happen. And what that module actually helped me realize is that we are not superheroes in our own right. We need to work together as a team. And in fact, we're there to be the advisors. We're there to identify the risks. We're there to explain the risks in business terms, and then advise in terms of what we can do in terms of the risk. But ultimately, we need to work together as a team to get to the decision as to whether you want to live with the risk or want to reduce the risk. So instead of being a superhero like a Batman or a Superman or Spider-Man or one of those superheroes that stand on their own, we rather should be a superhero team like the Avengers and solve the company's problems together. And this is, I know it's a long analogy to get to my point, but this is really something that hit me when I was studying that module. It was like that, no, you don't have to be on your own. This is not, cybersecurity is not for you as an individual. It is for an organization, and you need to be a collaborator, a partner, an advisor. And in doing such, you will achieve much more and much more greatness in your role as a CISO. So for me, it is such an honor and really, really amazing experience. I mean, for me, I provided my details and then I actually forgot about it. So my experience was I did it and I forgot about it. And then I was so surprised and actually so honored to basically be to receive the award. And for me, it just validates that no matter who you are in the world, I mean, as I said, I'm based in South Africa. We're not really on the world stage all the time, but any one of us, if we really put our minds to it, can make a difference and an impact in the cybersecurity industry. And whether it's a small local impact or whether it's a big global impact, that does not matter. I think it's all about the fact that the recognition and the reward is available out there for each and every one of us to really excel and live out our passion in this industry. And for that, I'm really, truly grateful and truly honored to have been selected. For me, that's an emphatic yes. I definitely do. I think it's, as I mentioned, it is a holistic program. It tests all the key areas of executive leadership. And it really also just helps you identify those areas where you perhaps in your own personal capacity still have gaps, and then helps you that you can close those gaps and grow in those areas. So for me, a definite yes.